y'all, it is Niki. Welcome back to the channel. So today I want to talk about something that I think has changed my life in a bookish sense, and that is audiobooks. One thing that I have noticed more and more over the past few years of being a student, and one thing that has bothered me more and more as I go, is the fact that when I am in school mode, when I'm just trying to get through a semester, I do not have time for pleasure reading. I do my readings for my classes, and that is pretty much all I have time for. And as far as like researching my genre or getting a feel for what other fantasy authors are doing, in the past I just have not had time to dive into that sort of thing while I'm trying to write and while I'm trying to do school all at the same time. Now, I do want to kind of add a little qualifier there. In general, I like writing more than I like reading. I need to write like I need to breathe, less so for reading. I do enjoy reading, but it has to be a very good book. So because of that, when I'm in school mode, if I have to pick one thing to squeeze in there and prioritize, I'm always going to pick writing over reading. But my main issue with that, especially going into this year, is that I am in the process of trying to learn my genre and to learn how to write fantasy more effectively. And I know, and have known for a long time, that one of the best ways to do that is to read what other fantasy authors are doing and get a feel for it and do research that way. And there are lots of books that I want to read to do that research, including the Wheel of Time series, which is a huge series that I would never have time to actually sit down and read while I was trying to do school. So, going into this semester, I decided to try something different that I've never really gotten into before, and that is audiobooks. And guys, audiobooks have just changed the game for me. I commute to school, so I have about an hour of driving every day if I'm including the there and the back. Being able to listen to books on that commute has just been so nice. It allows me to feel productive even while I'm sitting in that time that would otherwise be kind of dead time. It has allowed me to read multiple huge books in the time that I probably wouldn't even have finished one if I were trying to sit down and read a paper copy of a book when I didn't have anything else going on. I feel significantly more familiar with the genre even after just like, I don't know, 7 books or whatever it is that I've read over the past few months. And it's actually surprised me how I register and process the information that I'm hearing the same way I would process it if I was reading it. I'm not sure that I was really expecting that listening to a book would have the same effect on me. What I found is that while I'm listening, I am still processing it the same way. I'm still picking up on wordings that the author is using, what the author is doing, little diction things, little turns of phrase, how they're structuring their sentences. I'm still picking up on stuff like that. There have been so many times while I'm driving and then just like, oh, that was such a good sentence. And I'm not seeing the sentence. I'm not seeing how it's structured on paper, but you can still hear it. And as soon as I started doing that, I realized like, wow, this actually is still constructive for me, not just from a story perspective, but as a writer to figure out how their writing style works. I almost think that you can pick up on those things maybe better by listening to it, and maybe that's part of the reason why it's so helpful to listen to our own stuff out loud while we're in the editing phase. One thing that I don't love about the whole audiobook thing is the waiting and the struggle to get audiobooks when you want them. The library doesn't always have the audiobooks that you need when you need them, so I've ended up with like huge wait times for some of these books that I'm wanting. But alas, that is my instant gratification speaking, so patience is a good thing. It's fine. I do find also when I'm reading a book, even if I'm enjoying it, I'm still trying to like get through it. Like I'm still keeping track of how many pages I have left. I still keep my thumb on the end so that I feel like I'm making progress in the book. I can't really like just sit back and relax and forget that I'm reading because I'm always kind of in the back of my mind trying to get through it and get to the end, which I don't know if everyone does that, but it's the same with audiobooks. Like I'm constantly checking the time, how far am I, how close am I to being done, even if I'm enjoying the book. And that sort of makes it a little less relaxing because I feel like a pressure, like, oh my gosh, so if I listen to it on my commute for the next 5 days, that will get me this far. And then I also need to listen to it for an hour every night if I want to be done. And it's like, Niki, just relax and enjoy the book. But that's probably just a me problem. The point is, the audiobooks have been a real game changer for keeping my productivity going in reading as well as writing. And I consider them, in this sense, to be kind of one category because I'm using this reading as research for my writing. I already feel better about my knowledge of the genre and my familiarity with genre tropes and how the genre works. And I've already started to recognize some of the things in those fantasy stories in my own fantasy stories. So that is exciting to see the connection and to see that, okay, I'm on the right track. The more I read, read, the more I'm going to understand the genre. And at this phase in life, as a student, I've realized that audiobooks are kind of the best way for me to do that research, do that work, do that pleasure reading while juggling all the other things going on. So if you are a student, I highly recommend the audiobook. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Feel free to like and subscribe. Comment below with how you feel about audiobooks. I don't know if everybody loves them, but I now love them. I am now a believer. And as always, do not forget to spend some time in the clouds today.